How you doing, everyone? This is Vaughn Gathing speaking, and this is my book review for this week. Again, I just want to let you all know that we're moving to a new category of books, which I call post COVID 19. And the purpose of post COVID 19 is to get us aware of how is the world going to be a little bit different after COVID 19, which will pass eventually, and what can we do about it? So, the book I'm reviewing, you can see it in the thumbnail. It's called The Common Good by Robert Reich. And The Common Good by Robert Reich is the book I'm choosing. And the reason I'm choosing this book is because the book is about um, pretty much being moral and just in today's society, and why you should be moral and just in everything you do. And when we talk about being moral and just, we're talking about in all factors of life, just government, at the workplace, if you run a business, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a teacher, and being ethical along with that. So I picked this book because I think it's a good time to restart and reset our priorities, and think about, are we moral people? Are we doing things morally? Are we doing things ethically? And yes, we all make mistakes. We all have a past. We all have done things in our past. We all made decisions as a group about things. But how can we use this time to hit the reset button and say, are we operating in the highest degree of morality, or the highest degree of ethics? And like I said, everything's not going to be perfect, but some of these systems we have in place, they're pretty unjust. So I think this book is really, really good. So Robert Reich, he is the former Secretary of Labor for the Clinton administration. And the one thing I like about him is he was a big factor in helping the Clinton administration get the surplus they had. As you know, by the year 2000, by the year Clinton left office, the country was in a really, really, really good position financially. We had jobs, we had surplus, we had social programs, we had money for education. We were just doing really good financially, and part of it was because of Robert Reich, but he left the cabinet early. So I don't know exactly why he left in 1997, a little bit after Clinton's second term. Maybe it was the Monica Lewinsky thing. I don't know, but um, this is why I like him. So he has things that I agree with, things I don't agree with. And if you notice, there's no video with this. It's just straight audio. So if you notice, it's no video. I did that intentionally. So the first thing I want to talk about in this book, chapter one, he just pretty much gives a kind of an intro of the common good and how the common good looks. Um, he starts off, Robert Reich starts off with this gentleman named Martin Shkreli. And I think you've probably heard of his name if you listened to the news maybe like 2, 3 years ago. Martin Shkreli was this pharmaceutical CEO, um, funny, smart, charming guy, young guy who was running his own pharmaceutical company. He was known for jacking up the price for a drug called Daramin, and this drug Daramin, it was supposed to treat um, it's supposed to treat birth defects with unborn children. And he jacked the price up from $13.50 per pill to I believe it was 550 500 no $750 per pill. And he made no amends about it. He said, man, this is a capitalistic country. People gotta have to fend for themselves. I don't care. Um, and eventually he got arrested for security fraud. They say he was running like a Ponzi scheme with some investors. You can read up on it for details. I'm not going to go into that. But Martin Shkreli, what he did was he laughed at the case. He said, "This is a joke. They're trying to hunt me down because I'm rich, and I made this decision about this drug, and they couldn't do anything about it." He laughed at the lawyers. He laughed at the prosecutors. He laughed at the judge. He made memes about the journalists. He was just being really immature about it, and he thought that this was going to pass and he was going to be back to making his money. Well, he was locked up and fined for $7 million, and he's currently in jail right now. And the point that Robert Reich was making was there are a lot of people like Shkreli. Shkreli was a smart guy, ran his own business, at a young age to add, and he was very talented, but he had no disregard for the public. He didn't think about the people he was selling this drug to. He just wanted to make a profit, and he blamed it on capitalism, and he had every right to blame it on capitalism. So, and he paid for that. So Robert Reich is saying that there are good things that happen in our society, but there are a lot of people like Shkreli, and there are a lot of people like that look up to Shkreli and try to act like Shkreli, and they end up getting in trouble like him. So look him up. He was a character. He had a copy of Lil Wayne's album, The Carter Five, and the Wu-Tang album, and tried to sell it for like millions of thousands of dollars. He was a crazy guy. But anyway, the common good, like I was saying, the common good does exist in this world, and that's what Reich was trying to say. Shkreli is an example of the common bad. Corrupt CEO, exploitive, didn't care about the people who this could have impacted, um, made no amends about it, blamed capitalism. But there is the common good in the world. And the common good are the first responders. You see firefighters, the police officer that's supposed to do their job. We know we can have a whole conversation about police officers, teachers, people who are just good Samaritans who just help people out, give homeless people change, find resources, help women across the street, older women across the street, soldiers who fight for this country. So the common good does exist in this world. And so we want to move on to chapter 2. And he kind of talks about in chapter 2, he talks about what do we have in common with the common good? What is this good that we have in common, and we should have in common? So he named a few things, and that it was ethics, truth, and acceptance. And what ethics is, and Robert Reich, he's a leftist, but he made it clear that sometimes when it comes down to politics, identity, we have differences, but we want to make sure we're acting in the best interest of ourselves and our people. So he talked about having a moral fabric, values and virtues in the decisions we make, whether we are voting. We're making an agreement on something, not for self-interest, not because we can't accept another group or we want to exploit another group. And he mentioned acceptance, acceptance of people who don't look like you. I'm a black man. I make no amends about it. But I have seen so many situations, read about and experienced situations because of who I am, and I've been even told this personally by people who've treated me wrong because of who I am, where I'm from, that I should be treated a certain way. And and to this day, it just baffles me that we're still talking about that in 2020. So accepting people for their differences, their identities, what their politics are, what they stand for, and not trying to create this division and these emotional debates about it that you see all the time about what they stand for, who they are, where they're from. And then truth. When he talks about truth, he says, "Hey, truth is a common good," meaning, let's be honest to the people. If you're a leader, um, let experts handle things. So, for example, you see truth being debated all the time with the Trump administration. He says alternative facts. He doesn't want to listen to experts. Today he just kind of like buckled down and kind of threw the flag in about doing social distancing for 30 days because he was going to override the experts who said, hey, this coronavirus is going to take a lot more than 3 weeks to overcome. So, and we have people who don't want to listen to experts, and these aren't just people on the right. These are people on the left. These are people who work everyday jobs. We just don't want to listen to experts. We want to do our own thing. So, truth is a common good as well. In the last chapter, which I disagreed with him about a bit, he talked about the origins of the common good. And he talked about the founding fathers of America and I don't know, James Madison. And even though they had flaws, he said they created a document and a framework to have people be there to act in their highest moral degree to have an equal shot in America. I can disagree on that because I believe the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, it needs to be rewritten. It when it was written, it didn't think about women. It didn't think about black people. We were 3/5 of a man, 60% of what a man should be, and they still treat us like that. So, and I get what he was saying. He was saying that the origin of the common good, it comes from some of these things that we hear about, whether it's something, whether it's a religious fabric, whether it's civil rights, all these things. But I think it's time to make a new common good. It's establish a new understanding of the common good. So I do like where this book is going. Um, I really think that when we talk about a post COVID-19 America, we need to think about the common good we need to do in our society, from our school system. The fact that we have kids that who rely on school lunch for food is sad. Our healthcare system, high healthcare costs, taking all day for a COVID-19 exam, or wealthier people getting COVID-19 exams before middle class and lower class people. Health insurance, not us, people that don't have health insurance and they can't go to the doctor. Environmentalism, criminal justice, all these things. It's time to establish a new common good. And I'm going to review the next 3 chapters of this book next week, and I'm enjoying it so far. So, what I want to leave you with is, pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention to what's going on, because the things that are happening now and cope with COVID-19, they're going to have long-term effects. I guarantee you this. And again, you might not like the messages coming from me, but if you can take what I'm talking about and you can find a better way to do that, then do it. But I'm ready to help change the country we live in, and this is the best time to do it. So let's take advantage. So, like, follow, give me a comment, give me feedback, give me subscribe to my page, and I really want to help build this post COVID-19 America. So if you're down with me to do that, then hit me up. Um, um, do whatever, but just take what I'm saying in consideration. So have a good week. Stay safe. Eat healthy. Wash your hands and enjoy.